that's how I'm gonna want my daughter to be.
Okay, my question for guys is when it comes to like the whole like providing thing, like what is your guys' opinion on that? Because I feel like there's so many like different ways that guys take it and like how girls take it about guys being like the providers. So, like what would you guys like define as like being a provider in a relationship? Especially like we're at the age where like obviously we're gonna start like getting married, whatever. So like when I'm being honest. Like we're all getting to that age. Like you act like we're like like seriously, we're not 18, 19 anymore. Like
you're
we're
sitting
getting
in the
older.
middle too. Like
like we're getting okay.
No. I was being so serious. Like, oh my God, I would just be about my interview. But I have no intention of getting a relationship or married. I'll answer that question.
Okay, well, whatever. But like, what do guys like definition of like providing for like in your relationship be?
Well, what do y'all think it is at first? Are you confused about it? Is that what you're asking?
No. I'm just curious because I would like love to hear it because I have like my own like.
Okay. So you want us to answer first, and then y'all.
I mean, if you want, yeah. I'm just like so curious, like the guy's like perspective of that.
Yeah, I think it kind of go back to like part of what Chauncey said. Like, do you feel stable? Do you feel comfortable in the relationship? Like, that's the biggest thing for me. Because money wise, it's like I'm gonna live my life to like do the things that I want to do and I want to enjoy. At the same time, yeah, I want to make bread. You know what I'm saying? I want to make money and do all these things that I got. But like, I'm gonna choose like a job that I would love doing, that I would, you know what I'm saying, wake up every day, or my passion over money necessarily. So if I end up with a woman that makes more money than me, like that's not gonna make me feel like any less of a man or anything like that. As long as she feels safe, comfortable, all that type of thing. And then obviously too, like I feel as men, like we have enough pride too that maybe like if we're not making as much, but like as long as we bringing something to the table, you know what I mean? Like I can feel comfort in that, or find peace in that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just depends on how big that ego is.
I think I don't really care like financial wise. Like if my girl makes more money than me, like cool, like good to her. Like I make my own money, so like you won't have to. Like I think when you're providing for like a stable relationship, like you both have to provide. Like it's an equal thing. So like whoever makes more money, it doesn't matter. Like you don't like women because they make more money, but you're just weird. Like if your girl makes more money, you should be providing like emotional and mental stability for her when she gets home. Because like the more money you make, the more stressful your job becomes. Like the higher paying jobs, just in general.
This is interesting.
Like give a lot of stress, so you just emotionally and mentally help her out. Obviously, you have to pull your weight too. Like you can't just rely on her, because if it was the other way around, like you probably wouldn't want her to just rely on you solely financially. I don't think that healthy relationships work out like that, because there becomes problems like, oh well, why don't you get a job, or blah blah blah. You told me I don't need a job and all this shit. So
I have a question since you said that. You took the proposal first. So she's in this high-paying job. Say she's a lawyer, a doctor. She makes very good money. No, I'm serious. So she makes
I'm just going.
So she makes good money, right? And these, or I forgot the other one, engineer or business, like help startup companies and shit. And she's in these, I would say, more masculine roles, right? Some women can maintain a balance, but say because they're so masculine all the time in this field, doesn't that kind of hurt their ability to be a catch, because maybe they don't still have that like nurturing feminine side, because you said like you have to be the emotional support, and a lot of times when the men are that emotional, they like the woman so much, a lot of times the girl doesn't want them, right? So I guess my best example would be like Serena Williams, that she was so locked in on being the GOAT of tennis, right? She was locked in her field, nothing could get in the way she was training, and she GOATed. But obviously at that time she probably had flings, but she couldn't get with like a man, because maybe the man that she even would want to be with wouldn't be there to wait for her at home.
Isn't she married?
She retired.
Yeah.
She retired. That is what
now
I'm saying.
She is, but didn't she have like kids before with the same dude? Like, she has kids with a white guy.
Yeah, she's married to
She's married to him. Been married.
Later in the career.
I
I think he's talking about more like before
I think you're-
this. I think he's talking about like more before,
Yeah,
like
okay,
the kids
that's
and the
fair,
husband and all
But
that.
I
That's
think
what I'm
in
saying.
general,
When she
because
really, like
more
I said, I was just
the odds are your wife is not going to be Serena Williams. The odds are like lawyer,
that's what I'm saying.
lawyer or doctor.
I think he's just- yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For the match, like I said, the masculine energy, because maybe like her being masculine all the time has made her more masculine at the home.
Or more
so,
like dominant in
yeah,
some.
right.
So like
so now it's not that attractive.
But what I think, well, no, I don't think that diminishes her attractiveness at all. I feel like that's a surface level thing, like that.
I think does that have to do with more of like if the man is insecure, then it'll ruin it?
Boom, right
Okay.
there. That's
Really?
exactly what it is.
Exactly.
That's
That's
exactly
what
what it
I'm
is.
I think
That's
so.
exactly
If the
what
man
it is.
can't handle
That's
like
what
my
I'm
success,
saying.
that's where my point was earlier. Like if my man cannot like handle my success while he's figuring out his life, then like,
I never said that.
Okay, then
I
just,
said-
just in general, like
I
just
said
in general,
that.
then.
Let me make this clear. I said because of her having to be in this masculine role, it's caused her not to be as more feminine in the home. So she doesn't do as much of the nurturing things that make her so attractive to us and to be our piece. So she's more masculine now because instead of it being like yo, I'm with my woman, it's like yo, I'm with like another dude because she's so masculine more because her energy is different because she had to be masculine outside of the home so much. I never said be insecure about she just comes home and she's super sweet because there's nurses that make a lot of money that are still very sweet when they come home. And there's some women that are still able to do this.
So then I think that just is based off if the woman cannot separate work from home.
Okay.
Because if you can't separate the two, then that's going to cause so many issues. If you can separate your work life from what you come home and do, then I think there shouldn't be a problem. Unless the man is insecure, then I think as much as you say there's not, I feel like.
But I also think that even if she makes more money than you, if you are pulling your weight financially, there won't be that power struggle that I feel like you're trying to point at. Like they're like her masculine energy or whatever when she comes home, like you also have that because you are also working your job. Whether it's you also run a company or you work for somebody, like as long as you pull your weight and she pulls hers, that leads to like a healthier, successful relationship rather than her being dominant and you just kind of like being at home and not really doing anything. I feel like that's when that masculine dominance overtakes you because now like what's your argument? Like you stay home to cook and clean, like that's cool, but like she's able to bring that dominance and that masculinity that you're saying like over onto you, and you don't have an argument back towards that because you're not pulling your weight financially. You be doing it like by cleaning the house and all that kind of stuff, like which is a job in itself, but when it comes to financial dominance and masculinity, she can overtake you because you don't even pull your weight. At least if you're pulling your weight, you can be like, look, like, this money is also mine. Like, I pull in stuff too. Like, I bought this and I bought this too. Like, then you can kind of balance that out easier.
Okay, I don't think you're.
You keep saying masculine.
I don't think you really understand.
I think-
Okay, so
I hate.
Let me
think
get
the
the
word
best-
masculine is.
Yeah,
let me get the
I
best-
think
let me
you're
get the-
thinking more
I'm trying.
let me get a better metaphor. So say
get what
like
you're saying, bro.
basically a cop, right, that sees the bad part of life.
Okay.
He's forever changed because he sees that bad part of life.
Right.
It's hard for him to take that away. And a lot of cops end up in divorce because of this, right? So they're different. The woman no longer wants to be with him because he can feel that he's different. Obviously made because of his job.
Right.
So I'm saying the woman now becomes less attractive, not because of the job, but she can't, like Maya said earlier, she can't keep the balance of still coming back home and still nurturing and still loving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I also
That's-
just feel like women just are automatic. I mean, I don't know if this applies. I feel like most women are just like that, nurturing. Like I don't know. Maybe that's wrong.
You would be very surprised.
I think it's just because I'm that way, and that's just how I am. Like I'm just big on like nurturing and like wanting. I should probably not say that because then you'll lose your shit on me for saying it. But I just think that's just me. Like I feel like if you're already a nurturing person, then you shouldn't have to worry about the separation of the two.
I mean, look, you talked about earlier, like your parents and a lot of people like to see like a stable household, stable family, and that nurturing side, and especially, I believe, like, you know what I'm saying, y'all culture is very loving and nurturing, especially when.
I guess it does depend on culture too.
And our
if we're
culture,
gonna be
there's
honest.
a lot of holes in there. But you asked about the provider thing. I guess my roundabout thing is provider and protector. I do like that he said earlier, like women like to feel safe around men. And,
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? You have to be able to do that to be comfortable. Like, yo, like, things go left, you'll take the reins. Like, you can't be like, oh my God, freaking out. Like, nah, bro, you got to be able to hold the fort down. With the provider, with the money situation, I think it just goes back to, men have always been judged by like what you do, what do you provide to society.
Right, but I think when it comes to like saying provider, people automatically think financially.
Yeah, pay for everything.
And
I'm not gonna lie
with that. I don't agree with the financial thing.
I'm not gonna lie, like my ego, like y'all know me for a while, so y'all know I ain't paid for much freshman, sophomore, junior year. Yeah. Hey, relax. That year was strong. But like I remember like me getting older, and like obviously start bringing in money myself. Like my ego kicked in. Like I don't even want you. Like when I'm out, like nah, I got it. Like my ego, even though like I was like nah, like you know, be cool. But I do still find it very attractive that the woman's like nah, I got this. Like it's cool, but for the most part, like at times I'm like nah, like it's like I got it. Like my ego comes out like nah, I got it. Like I want to do that stuff. Like I want to do it. If that makes sense. Like it's not like a girl that just like oh you're supposed to pay for me. Like bro, bitch, go somewhere. But it's skedaddle. Like you.
Is it bye?
Yeah, it's skedaddle. But when it's like oh like you will okay. Cool. Like I find it hella attractive that she like Chauncey said earlier like she take out her wallet to even like try and I'm like oh no, damn you're great. Makes you even more attractive to me. That makes sense.
Interesting.
All right. I was gonna ask y'all what do y'all want, but let's move on.
I think we've got.
Yeah, what's the difference between applying pressure and being clingy?